Have you ever met someone who checks all the boxes? Kind, consistent, emotionally available, maybe even super into you, but for some reason you just weren't feeling it? Do you resent the drama and inconsistencies in the men that you date, yet you still find yourself gravitating towards them? Perhaps intellectually, you truly do desire the goodness and stability that can bloom from a healthy partnership, but you're never really attracted to the men who fit that bill. This month, we've been talking about why we end up in those fixer roles in our relationships, which can often feel like a war between our hearts and minds. Today, we'll connect those tendencies with our physiology and how the programming of our nervous system often confuses chaos or chemistry. If you're feeling defeated by that last statement, not to worry. Thanks to neuroplasticity, or our brain's abilities to adapt and rewire itself, we can actually change the way that attraction forms inside so that we can start directing it towards people and situations that are actually good for us. So you can blow a goodbye kiss to the bad boys, the projects, the unavailables, and make space for that stable guy who's actively prioritizing you and shares your values and visions for the future. Let's get into it. There are many factors why chaos might feel like chemistry. In a nutshell, the brain orients us towards what is familiar, whether or not that is right for us. Think of how often you might reach for junk food out of habit, even though you'd rather crave the carrot sticks. So, if we've had a pattern of relationships that centered around chasing, drama, crises, and so forth, that repetition has strengthened neural pathways, which then signal this is normal, this is connection, even if intellectually you know better. A secure person is not going to approach dating in the same manner as the people you've been accustomed to. They're going to show up consistently. They're going to put in the interest and the effort. They aren't going to play games of hot and cold. They aren't going to leave you in a state of existential limbo. With a secure person, you can open up and you can resolve conflicts together rather than stuffing things away or shying away from things that bother you in hopes of keeping that person close, rather than being all consumed in intense activation all of the time. In a secure relationship, your physiology will have periods of rest between periods of heightened arousal. When we're so used to riding emotional roller coasters, when we finally do take that scenic countryside drive, it might feel boring or uncomfortable. We might get fidgety. We might wonder, why don't I want this more? Why don't I feel that attraction, that spark, that chemistry? When there's no more feasts between famines and you aren't obsessing over every interaction or asking your friends to help you decode his text messages, that part of the thrill that you're used to is gone. And you may be left wondering where you fit into this foreign terrain. While your nervous system may still seek comfort in the disorder that it's known, there's so much more that's available to you, and you can access it through body-mind awareness. Journal, reflect, or comment if you'd like. What did love feel like growing up? And how did that shape your type? So if you ever wondered why secure connection never felt hot enough, it's not that you're incapable of it. It's just that your body hasn't had enough practice. So now, let's give it that chance. I'll invite you to bring to mind a relationship or situationship that you stayed in or pursued when you mistook the chaos for chemistry. For example, did that relationship feel like a painstaking series of arguments, miscommunications, and power games? Or maybe you largely felt invisible or neglected by a person that you so desired, and yet you still anxiously waited by the phone 24/7 just in case he were to text you back, no matter how meager the text messages were. If it feels safe to do so, put your mind and body back there. What messages did your mind and body communicate to you throughout this period? Was your mind totally distracted and unable to think of anything else? Maybe you had thoughts of, I'm not good enough for him, or what if he's interested in someone else? Maybe your stomach was constantly sinking with the occasional butterflies that were dependent on his level of engagement. Perhaps you constantly felt your body in tension, bracing for abandonment, rejection, or pain. Just notice the thoughts and sensations that are arising here. And now take a few moments to consider the peace and stability of what a healthy partnership could be like for you. One in which you're able to share your vulnerabilities, not constantly question where you stand with this person. Paint a picture in your mind of what that connection in this type of partnership could look like. Him stroking your hair while you lay in his lap after a long day. Laughing at inside jokes together as you fall asleep. Taking a trip together alongside others who are important to you. Really, whatever illustrations are most appealing and exciting for you. Consider what thoughts and sensations arise in the body-mind now. Maybe there's an encouraging voice that says, I'm ready for this. Maybe there's a sense of relief or peace. Try placing a hand over your heart or belly as you reflect. Notice any warmth, fluttering, or tension. And let your breath gently expand into that space, just enough to soften the edges. From stillness, just notice and begin orienting towards what feels good, what feels safe. It might be the softest whisper of encouragement or a sense of empowerment. Just lean into it, allowing even the smallest bud to grow in the light of intention and repetition. And it's okay if leaning into that sense of peace and steadiness feels unfamiliar or even a little scary right now. Rewiring attraction doesn't happen overnight. And the more you practice this, even in small, subtle ways, the more your nervous system begins to crave what once felt boring: peace, mutuality, and emotional safety. And as you continue noticing how your body responds, not just to people, but to presence, to safety, to consistency, you'll start to build new patterns. You'll begin associating regulation with desire. You'll learn to prefer the slow burn over the fleeting spark, the chai latte over the triple espresso shot, the mellow spliff by the seaside versus gravity bong rips at a loud party. So here's your invitation. This week, start paying attention to the people and the situations which make your nervous system exhale. Notice the ones who feel easy to be around. And I'd love to hear, what does your body mind want to experience and love? And how can you give it a taste of that today? See you in the next one.